that place turned me into a monster. I was very angry. You know, just being in Abu Ghraib, you know, it changed your whole mind frame. You know, you can go from being a docile, jolly guy, and you go to Abu Ghraib for a few, you know, just being in Iraq for a while, you know, you become, a robot.
It was a door that I was afraid to walk through. You know, if you walk through it, at which point do you say it's enough? You know, what's cruel enough? How do you go back from that? And I was afraid that I just wouldn't come back, that I would just get lost.
Something in your brain clicks that everything you see is normal. I mean, you'll go crazy if you don't adapt to what you're seeing. You gotta block it out. You gotta do something to make your day go by without going crazy.
The Taliban regime in Afghanistan.
And we will do whatever it takes to smoke them out and get them running.
Not as prisoners of war, because they're not, but as unlawful combatants. As I understand it, technically, unlawful combatants do not have any rights under the
Department of Justice built a theory that essentially would render moot, render powerless the various undertakings that the United States had signed on to that prohibited torture. The most obvious one.
Iraq continues to flaunt its hostility toward America and to support terror. The terrorist threat to America and the world will be diminished the moment that Saddam Hussein is disarmed.
And we believe he has, in fact, reconstituted nuclear weapons.
There's no doubt in my mind that he has weapons, chemical and biological weapons, and has been working on nuclear weapons.
When I first got into Iraq, we saw, all the blown up tanks. They were bombed from the sky. Bullet holes everywhere. It was like going into a Mad Max movie, like Mad Max: Return to Thunderdome. Like, wow, I'm at war. Like, wow. We're just like, part of you were like, this is cool. And then the other part of you was like, damn, well, we got to do this. But
Major combat operations in Iraq have ended. In the Battle of Iraq, the United States and our allies have prevailed.
We got fucking at least
every day, every single day, all day, every day.
And there was holes in one of the walls from shrapnel that a mortar had just hit. I think it was maybe a week before we came, or a couple days before we came. And he was telling us how the guy was praying and a mortar hit and killed a bunch of prisoners. So, you definitely didn't feel safe being there.
The road outside the prison is the most dangerous road on the planet Earth. You have more fatalities on that road, more IEDs on that road, more shots fired on that road than any road in the world. You could be walking to your back.
Am I in the front, running with my face wet? Or am I in the back, wondering where the race went? Don't wanna face it, feel like I'm a space kid. Lost beyond time is a hard way to live. All they do is take, all I do is give. I'm so fucking tired of living in this pattern.
We had just short of 300 military police personnel at Abu Ghraib to guard thousands of prisoners.
You had the general population prisoners, which were basically a huge mass of humanity, thrown into a mud pit, surrounded by concertina wire. And then you had the hard sites, which is where the intel holds were at, as well as the insane or the criminal. And then there was an even more, the most secure section was where they had the women and the children.
The females that we had were, the spouses or sisters or cousin of high-value detainees that were being used as, like, okay, well, we have your sister, we have your wife, you need to turn yourself in. Same thing with the little children. And we had like 9-year-olds in there. I'm like, why do I have a 9-year-old in a prison? It's crazy. But yeah, that's what was there.
I was chosen to work at the hard side because I'm a female, and they needed females working 1B. And that's mainly where they stuck me when Megan Ambule.
American killers.
We were told that these detainees were the worst of the worst, and this information that we needed to get was going to save lives. It was going to have, somebody said at one point, it was going to have global implications.
أنا ما أعرف ليش مسجون. جابوني بقوني 7 أشهر أنا وأولادي وما أعرف ليش مسجون. شنو التهمة مالتي؟ قالوا لي أنت تسوي متفجرات وتسوي عبوات ناسفة. وخلاص بعد ما أعرف. شنو الدليل اللي والمستمسك اللي عليه؟ ماكو. مجرد وشاية أحد المواطنين قال لهم هالشكل.
Thanks to the United States of America, 50 million people once lived under tyranny, and today they live in...
That Guantanamo gets me good intel, just what I want, and I don't get this out of Iraq. I've had it with this. I want you to get Miller out to Iraq and gitmoize the situation and do it fast.
And Miller, by all accounts, is a man who is, in a way, Rumsfeld's kind of officer, which is to say he doesn't care about past practice, he doesn't care about tradition necessarily. What he cares about is getting results. And he established a system in Guantanamo that was based entirely around getting information from these detainees, which is to say, using harsher interrogation. On the couple of occasions, he writes, I entered interview rooms to find a detainee chained hand and foot in a fetal position on the floor, with no chair, food, or water. Most times they had urinated or defecated on themselves and had been left there for 18 to 24 hours or more.
A memo in response to pressures from interrogators in December of 2002, in which he approved all sorts of enhanced interrogation techniques. What he allows is solitary confinement, noise, light, dark, in other words, enhanced or extreme sensory disorientation.
They include stress positions, and they include a series of techniques designed to undermine the self-confidence of the detainee. And subsequently, we learned that this includes sexual humiliation techniques.
General Miller is sent to Iraq to help them get more actionable intelligence from these thousands of security detainees. And General Miller, without hesitation, said, look, it's my opinion you are treating the prisoners too well. They don't know who's in charge. And if you don't treat the prisoners like dogs, you have effectively lost control.
What's going on with the nakedness? It's like, why are these people naked? I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Naked prisoners with panties on their heads and in compromising positions, locked up. So what's going on with that? I didn't understand that.
I got in there and there's this naked kid who's old enough to be my younger sibling, just naked, just hiding his shame with his hand, trying to answer these questions.
نعم غالبا أول 4 أو 5 أيام يبقى